will be faithful.
President Bola Tinubu promised a renewed hope agenda for Nigeria, but 2 years into his administration, the hope is being tested by harsh economic realities. From the removal of fuel subsidies to the floating of the naira, the impact has been deeply felt across the economy, leading to a high inflation and cost of living. Despite the hardship, the government says some macroeconomic indicators show early signs of stabilization.
Under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, I think all agree that in 2024, the economy has made significant progress. And let me say that at the base of it all has been a recovery and an improvement in the security situation in Nigeria. That lays the basis for all else.
For many Nigerians, there is a widening gap between economic policies of the Tinubu administration and the realities faced by the populace as persistent inflation continues to constrain household consumption and limit disposable income.
There is no flow. The cash is not flowing. The economy is slow. The reform, we are not seeing the impact of the reform. The reform does not have any much impact. So he should think, maybe rearrange the remaining 2 years and see. If not so, we will not vote him again.
It just be as if they dig us for inside hole every blessed day. You no get any the way you go come market, where you go sell better market. And as a family woman where you be, or as a family man where you be, the little way you don't sell, carry go house. Children must shop. Children must transport, go school. All those things, before you know that happen, even the small money where you gather, you don't put for inside your shop, you don't they go down because markets no day. People are crying, people are suffering everywhere.
But now inflation is coming down gradually. Before, a bag of rice was around 90,000, but now I just heard it's around 69,000-70,000 naira. So at least that is supposed to also impact on demands and supply.
Okay, nothing like inflation where they come down. No make I tell you now, normal something where they happen be that. By this time rice they come down because people where they go farm, they go farm. Very soon now, in the next 2 months, come back now, rice don't go back to 100,000 naira. Now because I say farmers they go farm now, at least some people will get the courage to enter farm where you call them herdsmen no go destroy their things. They plant. They see things they bring out now, they see small. So nothing like inflation where they call, nothing don't call that.
The impact of these reforms is also felt across other sectors of the economy, including the transport and the electricity sector. While the cost of transportation has doubled, electricity tariffs have surged due to a subsidy cut. Even small businesses are struggling with higher input costs and shrinking consumer demand.
Things are not going well. As you can see now, you can see the market is very dry, you understand? People are not entering the market because of the cost of things, the way things cost inside market.
Going from Maitama to Lugbe, you spend at least, you spend at least 700. Before, from here to Lugbe, at least 300 naira, 400 will take you to Lugbe. Then coming, it's more expensive coming because you have to drop in Secretariat, then you continue to Maitama. You spend close to 1-2.
It has not been easy. And you check some motorists now, in order to meet up with the demand, they try to carry 2 passengers in front. Just to augment.
A major focus of the Tinubu administration has been the MSME sector, which is critical for job creation and poverty reduction. The government over time unveiled a 125 billion naira plan to empower nano and small businesses through grants and low-interest loans, and another 75 billion naira for the manufacturing sector, an initiative that aims to increase access to capital and boost industrial growth. Despite this effort, challenges remain. Officials say the long-term impact outweighs the short-term measure.
What we are looking at is growing our way out of the deficit, growing our way out of relatively elevated debt levels. Of course, on inflation, we all acknowledge that there's a way to go, but the signal and the direction of travel is that inflation is expected to fall.
The economy under President Tinubu seems to have witnessed some level of progress. According to NBS figures, The nation's real GDP expanded by 3.84% year-on-year in the fourth quarter of 2024 from the 3.46% growth recorded in both fourth quarter of 2023 and the third quarter of 2024. While the exchange rate has improved, falling from about 2,000 naira in 2023 to a benchmark of around 1,600 naira in May 2025, the monetary policy now hovers around 27.5%. The World Bank, while acknowledging Nigeria's progress in its recent report, however, cautions that high prices and poverty remain a critical concern.
The fiscal position is much improved on the back of a surge in Federation revenues. Now, needless to say, the war is not won. Many challenges remain. Inflation has remained high and sticky, and it will be crucial for the CBN to stay the course with tight monetary policy to anchor stability. But if it does so, as we anticipate it will, we expect that inflation will fall to an annual average of just over 22%.
Although the Nigerian economy may be showing some signs of resilience and recovery, inflation, however, remains a clog in the wheel of progress. Excitedly, Nigeria's Consumer Price Index headline inflation declined to 23.71% in April 2025, down significantly from its peak of 34.8% in December 2024, following the rebasing policy. Despite this significant decline, the cost of goods and services remain elevated, even 5 months after the rebasing.
Few commodities that are still, same, but rice particularly has dropped from about 90,000 to 69,000.
Are you eating only rice? Do you think rice alone will count? What happened to the oil? What happened to the beef? What happened to fish? The protein? We need this protein more than the rice.
The fuel issue of it really affect us, affect our business. Passengers don't used to follow us. Even at the end of the day, the little ones that you will carry, you still end up spending everything on fuel.
So it's very costly in the market, especially somebody like me. So you doesn't have to buy the one way you support to buy in the market because it's day one kind.
The central bank is resolute and committed to continuing to fight the war against inflation. There's no going back on that. And as I have said at previous fora, we are going to deploy everything in our arsenal.
With GDP on the rise, inflation cooling, and the naira gaining traction, financial experts say Nigeria's economic outlook remains cautiously optimistic.
Central Bank increased the MPR rate by 8.75%. From 18.75% to about 27.5% last year. So all this, one would say that central bank is playing its role, but it's contending with other factors. Most of it structural deficiency in the economy, as well as part of the fallout, or we call spillover from fiscal authorities' actions.
While inflation is gradually slowing following the rebasing of the Consumer Price Index, however, there seems to be a disconnect with the NBS figures and the actual market price. Perhaps the big dilemma before President Tinubu as he enters his third year is how he intends to balance the immediate impact of his economic reforms and the long-term benefit. But for now, most Nigerians are holding on to not just the hope of a better tomorrow, but the promise of a daily bread. From the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Frank Omalape, Arise News.